Welcome to Houston Grand Opera's 31st annual Eleanor McCollum Competition, Concert of Arias. I'm Andrea Carroll, and we're live from downtown Houston at the Wortham Theater Center. It's so great to be back here in Houston, a city that I consider my artistic home. I was the 2012 Concert of Arias winner. This competition is very special to me, so the subsequent entry into the HGO studio was a major turning point in my life. I'm honored to be back this season performing the role of Leila in The Pearl Fishers. In addition to The Pearl Fishers and Florencia en el Amazonas, both in their last week of performances, HGO has even more in store for audiences later this season with Mozart's Don Giovanni and the world premiere of Tarek O'Regan and John Caird's The Phoenix, a story about Mozart's librettist Lorenzo da Ponte and his tumultuous adventures that brought him to the United States. These will be spectacular, and you won't want to miss them. More information can be found at hgo.org. This year's competition began last fall when 525 talented young opera singers from all over the world applied for their chance to sing here tonight. 14 semifinalists were selected to come to Houston last weekend for several days of intense work with HGO's artistic staff. On Monday, 8 finalists were advanced to compete this evening, where 3 winners will receive cash prizes. But more importantly, they could be asked to join the prestigious HGO studio next season. The studio is one of opera's most respected professional training programs for young singers. Studio artists have the rare opportunity to hone their skills in a highly individualized program while performing alongside established world-class singers. Often, a studio artist will then go on to become one of those very singers, and it could not be more true for international star Ana Maria Martinez. She is currently singing the title role in Florencia en el Amazonas. I'll talk with her during intermission, but earlier this week she had a chance to speak with our finalists and learn a little more about them and how excited they are to be here tonight.
Hello, I'm Ana Maria Martinez, and I am a proud alumna of the Houston Grand Opera Studio. The time that I spent in the studio was the most important in my formation for the career that I have been blessed to embark upon and still thrive and enjoy today. The dedication to providing opportunities to the next generation of opera singers is one of the qualities that I most cherish about the HGO studio and the company. I was in their position some 25 years ago, so I'm excited to have the chance to sit down and talk with these amazing finalists. Welcome to Houston. Who came the farthest? See? What is your schedule like this week?
I think our schedules are full of coachings and rehearsals in order to prepare for the Concert of Arias. But I think at least my itinerary is making relations with these finalists and talking and having coffee and eating food and waking up at 9 a.m. and crying like, we made it to the finals, or just anything like that. But that's what's in my itinerary, for sure.
What are you most looking forward to this week?
I'm looking forward to the food. I'm a native Texan, and I'm glad to be back with the queso and the Bluebell ice cream and HEB. So I'm excited. I think we're all also excited to be working with HGO staff, and just to really have the opportunity to work with everyone this week is really an incredible opportunity. So
what are your impressions just after your first round of auditions?
I was actually struck by how warm everyone was. And it's indicative of the city itself, as everyone said. Houston, everyone is so welcoming and warm and friendly. And I felt the same way when I walked into my first audition. And I think that's unique and beautiful.
Since you have been in our shoes before, do you have any advice or tips as we move forward to the Concert of Arias on Friday?
Regardless of what happens on Friday, this is your experience forever. While the camaraderie is beautiful, when it comes time on Friday, this always served me well, is that I bless everyone in my thought. It could be your prayer, but then I put my blinders on and I have to go with that kind of focus, because that's the kind of at attention that you need to have in that moment. And remember that you are an instrument, not just a singer, an artist, an instrument through which great messages will come.
Gracias, Ana Maria. Each of the 8 finalists will sing 2 arias accompanied by studio alum and current music staff member Kirill Kuzmin. Make sure to listen carefully because this is where you, our online audience, comes in. After everyone has sung their arias, you will have the chance to vote for your favorite performer on HGO's Facebook page. The finalist with the most votes will win the Online Viewers' Choice Award. Voting doesn't open until all performers have sung twice. Don't forget, if you're enjoying the performance, let us know through comments, likes, and shares. The hashtag tonight for all of our social media is #ConcertOfArias. While you and the judges are casting their votes, I will be joined by some very special guests. The judging panel tonight includes HGO's Artistic and Music Director, Patrick Summers, Managing Director, Perrin Leach, and one of the world's greatest tenors, Lawrence Brownlee, who I'm happy to have with me right now.
You're so nice.
Welcome, Larry.
Thank you.
It's been such an honor sharing the stage with you. What else brings you back to Houston other than Pearl Fishers?
Well, Pearl Fishers is a role, coming back to Houston, first of all, is fun for me because it's a theater that has been very supportive of me. I think this is my 5th or 6th role, and so the public has been so kind. The administration, the artistic administration has been very supportive of my career, and so it's one of those places that I feel at home. So I'll come back as long as people want to hear me sing.
Absolutely.
And of course, getting a chance to sing Nadir the first time on stage with a wonderful cast, a wonderful co-star in Andrea Carroll. But it's fun to explore this on the stage for the first time, so I'm enjoying that.
Perfect. Well, you're a judge tonight. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're looking for when you're sitting out there? What gets you excited? What's gonna make someone stand out for you in tonight's competition?
Well, for me, I always say that it's an opportunity to do something special. So I'm looking for someone to really set themselves apart, to take a hold of the competition. I expect a very high level of talent. I expect people to present their best, but I'm looking for someone to really step up and say, this is my opportunity to show who I am.
Absolutely.
And so that's what I'm excited about.
Personality and,
Absolutely.
and distinctive traits coming through.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, it's been so fun sharing the stage with you. And
likewise.
I think we have a little clip from our steamy, steamy love duet prepared. Should we take a look?
Sure. Let's do it.
Damn, that is kind of steamy. Okay.
Wow.
What? Come see the Pearl Fishers in our last week of performances.
That's awesome.
That is pretty
Mark
awesome.
Lear taught me that, though.
He did.
Yes.
Well, the man has many secrets.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Larry. I know
Thank
you
you.
have a really difficult decision to make tonight, but have a wonderful time. We can't wait to see you later.
Thank you, my dear.
Thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
We are having a little teleprompter snafu, so I'm holding my handy-dandy script here, but I promise I will keep making eye contact as much as possible. After intermission, we'll enjoy 2 performances by the current studio artists. Then the winners will be announced on stage. Tonight is such a special moment for these young singers, and I'm so excited to share it with you. It looks like the show is about to begin, so I need to go take my seat. But I'll see you all at intermission. We hope you enjoy the concert of arias, and thank you so much for tuning in.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 31st Annual Eleanor McCollum Competition for Young Singers, our concert of arias. We're thrilled to welcome you back to the Cullen Theatre for this special night. This evening's event is chaired by Elizabeth and Richard Husseini, and the Husseinis are passionate opera fans and deeply committed community leaders. We count ourselves so lucky that they are part of the Houston Grand Opera family, and we are so grateful for their support. Please join me in expressing our huge gratitude to Elizabeth and Richard Husseini.
Concert of Arias is among the most thrilling nights of the Houston Grand Opera season because it is so much more than just a singing competition. And it's about much more than the stars of tomorrow. It is a night of dreaming about opera's future. We welcome all of the participants, each of whom have already shown us so many gifts, and we wish them the very best for tonight and beyond. I'm also overjoyed for another reason tonight, as we have a major announcement. Houston Grand Opera will appoint our first ever artistic advisor, someone to join our already amazing artistic team of Richard Beto, Brian Speck, Michael Heaston, and Mark Lear. Next season, she will begin work alongside this company's first principal guest conductor, Eun-Sun Kim, and will advise us on casting and future productions, allowing us to reach larger numbers of emerging singers and new productions around the world. She will work closely with the studio and HGO Co. to broaden the experience of our own brilliant studio artists and to help us forge deeper connections in the Houston community. She is no stranger to the Houston Grand Opera audience, as she has sung a more diverse repertoire here than any artist in our history. And she has deep connections to Concert of Arias in the studio as well, as she was the first placed winner of this event 25 years ago tonight, and a member of our studio after that. So it is with pure elation that I ask you to join me in welcoming Ana Maria Martinez as Houston Grand Opera's artistic advisor.
Thank you very much. I just want to say a few words of deep gratitude to Patrick Summers, Perrin Leach, for inviting me to take on this new, wonderful, beautiful role. Together we will define it, we will create it, and we will embark on this journey in which I will be able to give back to the company that I love so much. Houston Grand Opera is my home company. It's where I got my start, and I couldn't be happier than taking on this position. And I also just want to bring it right back to the beautiful finalists that you're going to hear this evening. They are gorgeous singers, and we know that this will be a memorable evening for so many reasons and for all of us here. Thank you.
Please allow me to echo all of Patrick's remarks and Ana Maria's beautiful words. The entire company is so pleased to have Ana Maria Martinez join our team as our new artistic advisor. Tonight, we also welcome world-renowned tenor Lawrence Brownlee as our guest judge. Larry Brownlee is widely recognized as one of the world's leading bel canto stars and recently added to his many accolades the honor of being both the International Opera Awards and Backtrack 2017's Male Singer of the Year. He's graced the HGO stage many times and joins us this season as Nadir in The Pearlfishers. I'm delighted to share he will join us again next season in the HGO premiere of La Favorite. Please join me in welcoming back to HGO our guest judge, Larry Brownlee. I think Ana Maria got more applause, Larry, I'm just saying.
Right, I know.
We could not be more proud to have a studio alumnus as our pianist tonight. Kirill Kuzmin is a member of our HGO studio from 2015 to 2017 and has served as a member of our music staff since then. We will welcome him to the stage in just a few moments. Tonight's event will once again stream live on our Facebook and YouTube channels. Don't do that in the auditorium. This year, we are especially pleased to welcome our studio alumna, Andrea Carroll, as the live stream host, and are excited that our friends around the globe can participate in this wonderful competition. There are many people to thank for bringing tonight's event to life. Tonight's competition has been made possible by a generous gift from the estate of Eleanor McCollum, and we recognize her vision and we thank her. HGO is also proud to partner with Fort Bend Pianos, and we thank them for all of our pianos, but especially this wonderful Yamaha CFX. A word of thanks also to our event partners, City Kitchen Catering, the events company, and our awards presenters, Houston Methodist, the official healthcare provider of Houston Grand Opera. I also want to remind you that the audience play a very important role in judging tonight's competition. You each have a small ballot in your program, and at intermission, we ask that you vote for your favorite singer in one of our ballot boxes in our auditorium or lobby. So please listen carefully, consider diligently, and follow on page 8 of your program. And now, without further delay, let's get the evening started. Many thanks.
Hi, my name is Nicholas Newton. I'm a bass baritone from San Diego, California. I was a dancer for 10 years. I did ballet, jazz, tap, and modern dance. And I can still do the splits. One thing that I like about opera singing in particular is that it incorporates so many of the arts. You have to move well on stage. You have to be a great musician. You have to really know what you're doing technically, and you have to be a great actor in order to connect with your audience. You can't just stand and sing anymore. When I'm not singing, I love to cook. I actually wanted to be a chef before I wanted to be a singer. So I cook and bake a lot. All my Arias University people know I baked for almost all of them. So I don't necessarily remember this happening, but I remember my grandma showing me a video of us singing with the little karaoke machine, and she would sing to me, and I was like, what, 2 or 3, and I would just take the mic from her and just mumble gibberish into the microphone. I didn't know what I was singing, but I guess it was then that singing chose me. In 2016, I was a part of Houston Grand Opera's Young Artist Vocal Academy, and it was one of the best weeks of my life. I learned a lot about myself, the craft, and what I can look forward to in the future. It was actually really difficult as well because I was fresh out of undergrad and I didn't know much. I started studying in 2013. So it was really helpful to have that experience. I will be starting off Concert of Arias with Non più andrai from Le Notte di Figaro. It's Figaro's aria where he is teasing Cherubino, telling him that he's going to go off to war. It's a fun aria to sing because as a bass baritone, I don't get a lot of chances to be comical or really have fun moments. A lot of what I sing is pretty sad and depressing, so it's a nice, refreshing change for a while.
Non più andrai, farfallone amoroso, notte e giorno d'intorno girando, delle belle turbando il riposo, narcisetto aroncino d'amor. Delle belle turbando il riposo, narcisetto aroncino d'amor. Non più avrai questi bei pennacchini, quel cappello leggero e gallante, quella chioma, quell'aria brillante, quel vermiglio d'onesco color, quel vermiglio d'onesco color. Non più avrai quei pennacchini, quel cappello, quella chioma, quell'aria brillante. Non più andrai, farfallone amoroso, notte e giorno d'intorno girando, delle belle turbando il riposo, narcisetto aroncino d'amor. Delle belle turbando il riposo, narcisetto aroncino d'amor. Tra guerrieri può far bacco, ramo stacchi stretto sacco, schioppo in spalla, sciabla al fianco, collo dritto, muso franco, un gran casco, un gran turbante, molto onor, poco contante, poco contante, poco contante. Ed invece del fandango una marcia per il fango, per montagne e per valloni, con le nevi e i soglioni, al concerto di tromboni, di bombarde e di cannoni, che li pali in tutti i tuoni all'orecchio fan fischiar. Non più avrai quei pennacchini, non più avrai quel cappello, non più avrai quei pennacchini, non più avrai quell'aria brillante. Non più andrai farfallone amoroso, notte e giorno d'intorno girando, delle belle turbando il riposo, narcisetto aroncino d'amor. Delle belle turbando il riposo, narcisetto aroncino d'amor. Cherubino alla vittoria, alla gloria militar. Cherubino alla vittoria, alla gloria militar, alla gloria militar, alla gloria militar.
I'm Elena Villalon. I'm a soprano, and I'm from Austin, Texas. I grew up in Austin, but I'm originally from Houston. I was born here, and for the first few years of my life, I lived on Columbia Street in the Heights. When I'm not singing, I'm spending a lot of time with my dog, Scooter. I love to sail. My family are all sailors and grew up on boats, and I do a lot of sewing of dresses and things for my little nieces and nephews. I'm kind of an adrenaline junkie. I love to do crazy things, and maybe that's why I went into singing. I, grew up in Texas going to rodeos and really missed it. So last year, I actually entered the rodeo up in Ohio and rode a bull in these boots. So that I didn't expect myself to do that, but it was kind of a wild experience and had a great time. The first aria I'll be singing is Sophie's Presentation of the Rose from Der Rosenkavalier. This is the first moment that Sophie, a young girl, meets Octavian, who is presenting a rose as a proposal for Baron Ox, and instead she falls in love with Octavian. And this is the moment of them first locking eyes together and are instantly in love.
I'm Angie Romero, tenor, and I am from Houston, Texas. I got into singing when I was about 7 years old, and I was watching PBS, and I heard a concert by the three tenors. And I came from a big conservative family who never was introduced to opera or classical music by that matter. But I remember listening to them like, I want to sing like them. So I told my mom when she came from work, Mom, I want to be an opera singer. She's like, great, let's do it. I am a native Houstonian, and after I graduated my undergrad from here, I decided to make a move up north, and I'm currently in Connecticut, finishing my master's at Yale. And although it's fantastic being in the Northeast, I miss Texas so much. I love the Tex-Mex food. I love the warm ambient of everybody, the warm hugs, and the y'all. I miss everyone saying y'all. I will be singing Benedetto sia il giorno from the Petrarch Sonnets by Liszt. I resonate so much with this, the second sonnet, because Liszt talks about the day, the moment, and the land in which he laid his eyes upon his muse. And as a hopeless romantic, I absolutely love it.
Benedetto sia il giorno, il mese, l'anno e la stagione, il tempo e l'oro e il punto e il bel paese, loco via fui giunto da due begli occhi che legato m'hanno, da due begli occhi che legato m'hanno, e benedetto il primo dolce affanno che deppi ad esser con amor congiunto, e largo e le saette, poi in fuggi punto, e le pieghe, chin fino al cor mi vanno. Benedette, le voci tante ch'io chiamando il nome sospiri e le lagrime, i sospiri e il desiderio. Sian tutte le carte, ovvio fama le acquisto. Il pensier mio che soldi lei, che soldi lei, sì. Altro non va per te. Il pensier mio che sol di lei, di lei ch'altro non va per te.
I'm Catherine DeYoung. I'm a mezzo-soprano, and I'm from Traverse City, Michigan. Singing came into my life through choirs. I always sang in the choir, always loved everything. I was in the children's choir in my hometown in Traverse City. But it wasn't until high school that I started to sing solo, and I only started taking lessons because I wanted to be a lead in the high school musical. But my teacher knew better and took me to see the Met HD broadcast of Tales of Hoffmann, and I was hooked immediately and completely switched over to opera. What inspires me to be an opera singer is the music. There's something so powerful and so moving in opera. It's so human. Every ounce of human emotion is seen in an opera. You see tragedy, you see love, you see deception, you see betrayal, and you see happiness and sadness. And just the intensity and the history behind the music is just so moving. And it really, the one couple times I've really found myself crying at anything has been music and opera. My first aria is Zamanie Impeccabili from Così fan tutte. The character is Dorabella. So Dorabella's boyfriend has just gone off to what she thinks is war, and she has a complete and utter meltdown of, who's going to console me, and she just loses it. And it's very exciting for a singer to get to play that kind of madness and also, kind of tantrum that a teenager has.
soffetta, chiudi quelle finestre, odio la luce, odio l'aria che spiro, odio me stessa. Che schernisce il mio duol, che mi consola. Te fuggi per pietà, fuggi, fuggi, fuggi per pietà. Lasciami sola. Smanie impagabili che m'agitate dentro a quest'anima più non cessate, finché l'angoscia mi fa morire, mi fa morire. Esempio misero d'amor funesto, d'amore umanity, se viva reso, cosuonerebile dei miei sospiri. Smanie impagabili che m'agitate dentro a quest'anima più non cessate, finché l'angoscia mi fa morire, mi fa morire. Esempio misero d'amor funesto, d'amore umanity, se viva resto, cosuonerebile dei miei sospiri, d'amore umanity, se viva resto, cosuonerebile dei miei sospiri, d'amore umanity, se viva resto, cosuonerebile.
I am Junuet Laguna. I am soprano and I'm from Mexico City. Cantar es mi vida, es mi pasión. Cuando canto me gusta mucho sentir la emoción del personaje. Siento mucho cómo el mundo y las emociones de las personas se proyecta también en el canto y en las canciones. Me gusta mucho esta sensación de el dramatismo y las emociones que una persona puede tener en su vida y expresarlas a través del canto. Mi admirador favorito es mi familia, especialmente mi madre, porque mi madre ha cumplido muchos sueños a través de mí. Mis hermanos siempre me dicen, hermana, si tú eres cantante y eres famosa, yo también lo voy a hacer, ¿verdad? Entonces, amo siempre a mi familia y son mi mayor ejemplo y son mis mayores fans. Esta es mi primera vez en los Estados Unidos. Estoy muy contenta, muy feliz. La experiencia que he tenido en estos días en Estados Unidos es que me encantan los lugares que he podido conocer. Las personas que me han atendido han sido muy amables. Es un país que me está enamorando y aunque mi inglés no es muy bueno, estoy muy interesada en aprenderlo, puesto que quiero conocer más a las personas que me rodean. El primer área que voy a interpretar es Depuis le jour from Louise by Charpentier. Amo esta área porque habla sobre la pureza de una mujer, de la felicidad que siente una mujer al entregarse por primera vez al primer amor. Y amo esta emoción, la emoción del amor, el sentimiento de pureza que nos puede dar el amor.
I'm William Guambosu. I'm a bass. I'm from China and now studying at the Juilliard School in New York City. I love how people is treating each other here. You know, when I first came to this country, I was being helped by a lot of my American friends, helping me with language, with social, with just how to live like American. And also the freedom of course, social media, and the freedom of just, you can say the things you want to say and, you know, do the work, do the art that you would like to share with people. What I miss from China is obviously the first thing, my family, that being away from them and holding this 12 hours time difference every day, it's been quite a hard time for me. For me, growing up from China, I've been just eating all this homemade food, home cooked, and not being able to have that here is just what I miss. To be honest, I didn't get much experience yet to sing on a big stage, but every time when I gone on a stage, to me, the feeling is that I just wanted to express myself to the audience. I've once heard a very famous quote, aim for the expression, not to impress. I will be singing Sarastro's aria Oasis und Osiris from the Magic Flute by Mozart. For me, that specific aria really brings out a lot of personality from me. And also my voice, as many people actually told me, that has a noble quality in it. So I try to show as much noble, as much knowledge through my singing, through the language, and express it to the audience.
I'm Anna Dugan. I'm a soprano from Cranford, New Jersey. When I was a kid, I actually wanted to be a geologist. And then I think it slowly morphed into wanting to be a singer. I auditioned for the Ave Maria solo in my local choir, and I opened my mouth and something else had come out. And it was so bewildering and exciting to feel the experience of creating that type of sound and also, do such justice to such a beautiful piece. And that was the moment. I would say I have a number of inspirations. My grandfather definitely was one. He came to America when he was 16 and decided he wanted to make a better life. And, the pursuit of success is a never-ending quest. And that definitely inspires me to, work hard every day. Something that might surprise people about me is that I was a competitive swimmer for 12 years, long distance. So I joke that's, how I got my lungs for singing. My first aria will be Tutto nel cor vi sento from Idomeneo, sung by Elettra. I think she's a fabulous character. I mean, she's clearly been brought down to the very darkest period of her life. She was the daughter of a king, and you really feel her rage and anguish throughout the entirety of the piece.
Quel che tradito il mio, quel che
I'm William Meinert, I'm a bass, and I'm from Herndon, Virginia. The first opera I ever saw live was Nabucco, and I saw it at the Kennedy Center. And the best memory that I have from that performance was the soprano hitting a high note, and it was so resonant that I could feel the air actually vibrating against my face, and that's stayed with me ever since. I have a group of friends from high school, and it used to be twice a year we would go and section hike the Appalachian Trail for about 3 days at a time. And we've been on 9 or 10 trips so far, and so in total we've hiked about 250 miles of the trail. What I love about going hiking, backpacking on the Appalachian Trail, is that you get to escape from civilization, from your phones, from technology, and you just get to focus on the people you're with and the time you spend with them. I will be singing Con la flamme de l'amour from La jolie fille de Perth by Georges Bizet. In this scene, my character Ralph stumbles out from the bar, and he's very drunk, and he's singing of lovesickness.
Que sans espoir, le ciel même devient noir. Et l'hôtesse, mon flacon, que j'y laisse ma raison. Tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la, tra-la-la, 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 la-la, tra-la-la-la-la-la.
Take it
trop fragile tout le brise, tout le brise.
mit dem Elemir.
n'attendevo pas, n'attendevo pas, oh Caterina, ma mia, n'attendevo pas, ma voix et mes pas. Ainsi toi galop t'appelle, ainsi toi galop t'appelle, et ton cœur croit. Oh, 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 n'ouvre ta porte, ma belle, que la vague doit. N'ouvre ta porte, ma belle, que la vague doit, que la vague doit. Caterina, que j'adore, pourquoi refuser, pourquoi refuser à l'homme qui vous implore, pourquoi refuser ainsi tout baiser, ainsi ton galop supplie, ainsi ton galop supplie, et ton cœur ne donne baiser ma mia, que la vague doit. Ne donne baiser ma mia, que la vague doit, que la vague doit. has wilted like a morning glory when the sun comes. Return, O Lord, and hearken to my plea for forgiveness. Receive my confession, O Lord, and hear the words of my repentance. It's a horrible thing I have done. Forgive the weakness of my flesh, O Lord, and condemn me not to the eternal fire for my sin against thee and the woman. She was untouched, O Lord, she was untouched before her young body was defiled by my hands, defiled by my lust. Forgive me, O Lord, and grant her thy peace. Oh, forgive me, dear Lord, and return unto me. Thou hast gone far away beyond the sound of my calling. Return and grant my tortured soul the balm of thy forgiveness. What shall I do if thou desert me? Leave me not with this weight of sin oppressing me, and condemn me not to the fires of hell. Return, O Lord, I pray thee, O return. And let this cup, if it be thy will, pass from me.
La donna immobile, qual piuma al vento, muta d'accento e di pensiero, sempre una mobile, leggiadro viso, in pianto in riso, e benignero. La donna immobile, qual piuma al vento, muta d'accento, pensier, eri pensier, eri pensier. E sempre misero chi a lei s'affida, chi le confida, mal cauto il cuore, pur mai innocente sì, felice a pieno, chi su quel seno non li va amore. La donna immobile, quale piuma al vento, muta d'accento, eri pensier, eri pensier, eri pensier.
спит. Луна над ним полночной красотою брешет. Что сердце бедное трепещет, какая грозная тавин. Я без забот, без сожаления, веру кочую сие дни. Презрева кавы просвещения, я волен так же, как они, я волен так же, как они, я жил, не признавая власти, судьбы коварной и слепой. Но, Боже, как играют страсти моей послушною душой. Земфира, как она любила. Как нежно преклонась ко мне в пустынной тишине, часы ночные проводила, как часто милым лепетанием, упоительным лапсанием задумчивость мою в минуту разогнать умела. Я помню с негой, полной страсти, шептала мне она тогда: люблю тебя в твоей я власти. Твое леко навсегда. И все, когда я забывал, когда речёнье я внимал, и как безумный целовал её чарующие очи, гость у них приятельнее ночи, уста Земфиры. Она вся негой страстью полна, прильнув ко мне в глаза глядела. И что ж, Земфира неверна. Земфира неверна. Моя Земфира. Ах,
Good evening. My name is Brian Speck, and I am the director of the HGO studio. I hope you are enjoying the evening so far. Before we move on with tonight's program, please join me in again thanking Kirill Kuzmin for his beautiful work with the performers this evening. Each year, more and more talented young singers apply to be a part of this competitive process. This year, the competition began with 525 applicants. For the 8 finalists you heard tonight, this concert is the culmination of a week of interviews, coaching, and rehearsals with our staff, and it has been a pleasure for all of us to work with these exceptional young singers. They are amazing and dedicated artists and are all truly winners. We now have a 20-minute intermission. Please remember to join in the judging by voting for the contestant you think deserves the $1,000 Audience Choice Award. There are ballot boxes located here at the front of the auditorium, outside the theater doors on the orchestra level, in the first floor foyer, and in the mezzanine lobby. Voting is over at the end of intermission, so please don't delay in casting your vote. Thank you.
Hello again, and if you're just joining us, welcome. I'm your host, Andrea Carroll. It's now time to vote for your favorite performer. Visit our Facebook page and cast your vote for the Online's Audience Choice Award. You can only vote once, so make it count. Voting will remain open throughout intermission. Tonight, 3 singers are going to have their dreams come true, but then what happens? Last year, 3 incredible women won the top prizes and are now artists in the Houston Grand Opera Studio program. We caught up with them a couple of weeks ago to reminisce about last year's competition and get some advice for this year's finalists.
I'm Leah Lensing, contralto, and I won first prize and Online Viewers' Choice Award at the 2018 Concert of Arias.
My name is Lindsay Kate Brown. I'm a mezzo-soprano, and I won 3rd prize in the Concert of Arias 2018.
My name is Dorothy Gall, and I'm a soprano, and I won 2nd place in the HGO competition last year, 2018.
I distinctly remember talking to Dorothy right before, saying, you know, we did a really good job, and if it happens, it happens. And then when they called my name, I literally just went, and then ran out on stage.
Yeah, it was shock. I was just so grateful to be where I was with the people I was with. It was just utter shock and keeping my feet going forward.
I was just nervous again. I was like, don't trip. You know, this is the last time you have to go out there. Do not fall on your face.
Yeah, and you had that big dress on too,
yes,
with the train.
Never again, don't wear that.
The day that I got the call to get into the studio, I was actually packing to go to another audition for another studio. And I was on my floor, packing up my stuff, getting ready, and Brian called and was like, we want to let you know that you got into the studio. And I remember sitting there just blank-faced for a solid 30 seconds, and he was like, Lindsay, are you there? And I was like, yes.
My biggest shock about coming here was finding how supportive the entire company as a whole is. Every person that I ran into in the building, they all asked me how I was and made me feel like I'm not expendable, like I am here for a reason. They want me here, and I think that that's such a cherishable item to have in a company where you work with, where you know that they want you here and they don't want anyone else, they want you.
If I could say anything to somebody who's competing in the competition, it's that you go out on stage and it's not about you anymore. It's about the music you're making. It's about changing people's lives with music.
Do not compare yourself to the people around you. Just admire and cherish that you get to be in this group of people, and just do your best to sing your best.
The most important thing would be to just take all of the energy that the audience gives to you and to give it right back to them.
Getting to goof around right before, we took a bunch of pictures, and all of us, you know, got into a little clump together, and we were just admiring the fact that we were all together, that we were there. Not everybody can say that, and it's such a special competition, and that I got to share it with the 2 of them and the other contestants. It was a really cool moment to be all together.
In addition to the 3 prizes and Online Audience Choice Award, 1 finalist will be chosen to receive the Ana Maria Martinez Encouragement Award. Welcome, Ana Maria, and thank you so much for your generosity and your award. Can you tell us a little bit about why you started this award and what it means to you?
Thank you. This award means a lot to me because it emphasizes the idea of continued progress, continued work, continued lessons, and that's the whole spirit behind encouragement. My father always instilled in me the importance of an education, of a strong education, and stating that that is the only thing that no one and nothing can ever take away from you. So I like to seek out the one that I think is going to be that long distance runner.
Beautiful.
You know, and just give them that. It works as a scholarship. So it's the funds go directly to Houston Grand Opera and to the studio, and then the singer can access those funds to pay for voice lessons and coachings and all of the extra expenses, and there are many that go with becoming an artist and continuing their formation as an artist. And that way they can also stay in touch with the studio and with the company and let them know how they're doing.
That's an incredible investment to make in a young artist, and such a wonderful thing that you're doing.
Thank you.
And huge congrats are in order. It has been announced today that you are HGO's first ever artistic advisor. What exciting news.
Thank you, thank you.
Tell us a little bit about what that will mean for the company and for you.
Well, we're defining it as we go, but I will be asked to advise on casting and bringing in new talent that is not yet known to HGO, and to emphasize diversity and reaching out to the different communities, in particular our Spanish-speaking community here in Houston. Yes, sí, en español. So and also advising the young artists and working with them and coaching them, and it's advising in any capacity that the company sees fit, really.
That's beautiful.
And it's been 25 years since I was on that stage here competing as a finalist, and that began my journey with the company, and I'm deeply grateful to the company because it's been my home place and where I got my wings. And so in order to celebrate that, I think it's just wonderful that at this time I step into this new role.
That's incredible.
This new capacity to give back.
Well, it's going to be an amazing step for the company, I'm sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Andrea.
And you've been so gorgeous in Florencia.
Oh,
I
thank
actually
you.
have sung the role
And
of
you
Rosalba.
in Pearl Fishers.
Oh, thank you.
Stunning,
Thank
stunning.
you. I remember such a wonderful moment in Washington National Opera when I had my costume fitting for Rosalba, and it had your name stitched.
And
into
you
the costume.
took a picture of that and put it on Facebook, and I saw it and loved it. Yes, yes. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I also speak Spanish, and I don't know how you feel, but it's such a nice connection to sing in mother tongue.
That's
It doesn't
right.
happen so often other than zarzuela concerts, but
Yeah.
there's something very, very deep about that, don't you think?
I think so. I think that anyone's mother tongue, that's the one that you've been dreaming in, counting in, thinking in, experiencing things for the first time in since infancy. So that has an incredible organic connection with every individual. So when we get a chance to sing in our mother tongue, yes, it elicits so many different senses that in the other languages that we sing, we might speak them, but not since birth, and we always have to do our translations and our due diligence and all of that, and get as comfortable as we can be with the psychology of any culture and therefore their language.
Absolutely.
But yeah, nothing can top your mother tongue.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A feeling of intuition.
That's right.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Huge congrats. And I
Thank
know you
you.
have a very hard decision to make, but
yes, and for good reason,
for
because
good
they were all
reason.
wonderful.
Absolutely.
So it's tough to choose, but I think that the future of opera is definitely in good hands.
That's for sure. What a great
heard,
group.
Yeah, we heard an outstanding group tonight, and I thank them for choosing this art form because they've already invested so much of themselves.
Absolutely. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you. Gracias.
For those who haven't seen her in Florencia en el Amazonas, let's take a look at our wonderful production. On January 18th, Houston Grand Opera announced programming for the 2019-2020 season. All 7 productions will be new to Houston audiences, and each will be sure to transport you to an exciting world. One of the gems of productions at HGO is the outstanding chorus led by chorus master Richard Beto. Richard, or Maestro, as he is affectionately known by here, has also had a very long history with Concert of Arias. Richard, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
Can you tell us a little bit about your connection to Concert of Arias, how you started with it, and what it means to you?
Well, I'm part of the audience that's been here for every Concert of Arias since it began. Many years ago, back in, I guess, the winter of 1988, we had our normal studio finals, but it wasn't with an audience at that point. And one of the contestants that year was this young soprano named Renee Fleming, who couldn't catch a break. So afterwards, we were deciding who got in the studio, and David Gockley, who ran the company at that point, said, "We're not going to take her in the studio," and everybody was shocked. But he said, "She doesn't need the studio. She needs a role."
Oh my goodness.
With the company. So he ended up, we had an opening for a countess in a Marriage of Figaro, so we offered her that role. But then he came up with this idea. He goes, you know, we had these great singers here. We should have a competition.
Okay.
So people like this can be heard by our public. So he found this great benefactress, Eleanor McCollum, and convinced her to underwrite the Concert of Arias.
And you knew her personally, right?
Oh, yes, I did. She was a character. She was a big operatic character. She would talk to the singers and say, if you don't win, sing in the church, sing in the synagogue, just find anywhere to sing. But she also would appear at every Concert of Arias and would come out on stage and would have the famous Eleanor twirl.
Oh.
She would come out on stage very slowly, and David Gockley would escort her, and she walked to the center of the stage and would slowly do this twirl, and we were always worried backstage that she would collapse at any minute.
No. In full operatic grandeur.
Yes, with a long train always.
Oh, Lord. Well, that's wonderful. We're all interesting personalities, aren't we? That's what makes it such a multifaceted, spicy, amazing
For sure.
world. Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit, you transitioned from playing the piano in Concert of Arias to being
Well, actually,
or no?
Well, I started out as a judge for many years.
All right.
And then I transitioned into playing Concert of Arias in the 2000 to about 2006 until I took a job at Rice University.
Okay.
So then I just became a spectator, and I love being on that side of the footlight, so I just enjoy it every year.
Well, I think you're one of the only people who has been on every possible angle of this competition. You
Yes.
know it inside and out.
But I've not missed a one.
You've not missed a one. Well, we hope you will never miss a one.
Or the one you won.
Oh, well, it's really such a beautiful thing to continue to come back. And I remember I was reminded when I heard these incredible high notes from Elena. I remember singing the Gavotte from Manon, and you have all these fake out high notes, and the audience kept thinking it was over. We had to tell them to stop
Exactly.
clapping.
That happened one other time. I was playing an aria for someone, Carlisle Floyd's Ain't It a Pretty Night, and they thought it was over. They started applauding, and I suddenly stuck my hand out to the audience, stop! And they stopped, and they kept doing the same thing happened with your Manon. I remember it well.
Well, I think it helped calm me down, and it was a moment I'll never forget. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
And we'll catch you a little later. I'll see you tomorrow for Pearl Fishers.
I'll be there.
All right. Richard was music director of the studio from the early 1990s to 2005. This fall, Michael Heaston joined HGO as the studio music director. He's here with me now. Welcome, Michael.
Hello, Angela. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing well. How are you?
Wonderful, thank you.
What a gorgeous night we've been having.
Oh, it's been remarkable. I think the level was extremely high tonight, and we really were able to show these artists at their very, very best.
I've been completely blown away by the level of poise and artistry with such young singers. You have dedicated the bulk of your career to engaging in, nurturing, and fostering young talent. Why is it that you were drawn particularly to the younger singers rather than working with already established artists?
Sure. I mean, I come from a line of college professors, most of whom are in finance and accounting, but there's a teaching gene in me, and I was very fortunate to start at the Glimmerglass Festival, which is where we met.
Yes,
I think I had you in the program when you were all of 19 or 20 years old.
Yes.
And I've really discovered that it's not just a privilege, it's really an honor to find people who have something to offer at a very early age and create a nurturing, safe environment for them, and to hopefully give them the opportunities they need to forge a really impressive and international level sort of career.
Well, I can tell you from being on the other side of that it's absolutely true. Feeling that kind of safe space and nurturing, caring people in your corner is invaluable, and you have been one of those people in my life, and I'm very, very grateful to you.
It's been my pleasure.
Absolutely.
My pleasure.
Well, we're so happy that you are involved in the studio and know that we are in very good hands with each other. We're very excited.
Oh, thank you very much. It's my pleasure.
Thanks for joining me.
Yes.
There is only one person who is relaxing at this point in the evening, and that is Kirill Kuzmin, our amazing pianist on the first half of the program. Kirill,
hello.
What an unbelievable performance you put on.
Thank you.
How do you prepare for and navigate such different repertoire? What's going through your mind? Do you approach it all at the same way, or do you have to reset?
Well, how do I prepare? Well, what can I say? It was a lot of hours of practicing, and I have to say, tonight I played 16 pieces.
My goodness.
Yeah, but just a few days ago I played for the semifinals, and I was over 100 pieces. So, yeah.
It's astounding.
Tonight was easy.
Well, as a singer, it's such an important relationship. It's such a beautiful union between the two collaborators on stage. We're so grateful for your sensitivity, and you have been such a beautiful support to these singers tonight. It's been a joy to watch you.
You.
So, thank you very much.
Yeah, sure.
Enjoy and relax.
Yeah.
Surprise guest! Ooh, this beautiful diva. Dorothy, how has it been being in the studio? Tell me.
Oh, it's been a dream come true. I mean, every day I get to come to work and do what I love. I mean, you know exactly what that feeling's like.
I do. There's really nowhere like the HGO studio.
Oh, yes, and I've been covering Andrea and Pearl Fishers, and watching you has been an incredible experience.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, you're just such a natural actress and beautiful singer and so giving, and I'm going to embarrass you as much as I can.
Oh, that's very sweet of you to say. It's I love that connection for HGO. I remember covering big roles when I was in the studio that I would dream to sing one day, and it's invaluable to take the time now to learn these roles slowly and have the chance to try them out, and it's so nice to connect with you about that.
Yeah, likewise.
How does it feel being on the other side of the competition? Is it kind of trippy to be back here after having had such success last year? Is it weird to be a spectator?
I have to tell you, it's the best feeling in the world to be a spectator. I don't envy them at all, nor do I envy the judges.
Oh,
tonight's show was
absolutely.
just amazing. I mean, everybody sang with such heart and such passion, and I think that was extremely evident.
I agree. The level of of maturity and sensitivity in the singing and performing was unbelievable.
But I have to say, I'm very glad I'm wearing a black dress tonight because I was sweating bullets listening to them. Does that happen to you too?
It happens to me too, and it happens to me on stage.
I mean,
keeping it
keeping
down,
it together. If
keeping
you
it
have
down.
any tips, I am open for suggestions.
That's funny. Well, we can't wait to hear you sing very soon, and catch you later. Thanks for
Awesome,
joining me.
thank
Thanks
you.
for the surprise. It's now your last chance to vote for the online viewer choice. Voting will close once the second half of the program begins. Everyone is at places.
Lindsay K. Brown.
Or, okay. Sorry about that.
We're just waiting for people.
Are we still going?
Just fans.
The judges have such a hard decision to make. We're, Hi.
Hi, I'm Leah.
Hi, I'm Andrea. Nice to
meet
meet you here. Impromptu interview.
Yes.
I just asked Dorothy, I'm curious to ask you the same question. How does it feel last year versus this year? Same event,
Yeah.
other side of the fence.
Wow, so much less stressful. And just being able to, I enjoyed the moment immensely last year, and it's so wonderful to get to see other people get to go through the experience that we had. It's such a special group to be in that and to sing with everybody and get to know everybody from all over the world. And so I think I'm just so happy that another group of people get to do it.
Well, what seems really nice is that you as the current studio artists are very involved in welcoming all of the contestants and finalists, and I'm sure that connection is very important to them, to feel what it would be like to be in the studio, to not feel intimidated, to feel like an outlet of connection and
Totally.
friendship. That's so wonderful.
Yes, we love welcoming the new people coming in. It's so important to feel like it's going to be a family that you're walking into,
Yeah.
especially from how far you could be coming from.
True.
And so it's great to be able to be a welcoming influence on people.
That's so great. Thank you for talking to me.
Yes, of course.
There you go.
Oh, I think you take that with you. We're keeping them coming. Impromptu interviews. Who will they throw at me next? Oh!
Impromptu interviews.
Impromptu interviews.
That's what happens when you just hang out backstage.
We need a jingle for that. Impromptu interviews. Da-da-da. So, how's it going?
It's going
Are you
very
having
well.
a good night?
I'm having a great night. This is my first time watching Concert of Arias from that side of the house, so I'm
Wow.
really enjoying being out there watching everybody. Concert of Arias holds a really special place in my heart. I started my career at HGO as the studio administrator.
Absolutely.
So I've been backstage for a number of these, and I'm really excited to watch it tonight. It was a great performance.
Absolutely.
Judges have a really tough time tonight.
Gosh, I don't know how they're going to do it. Obviously, they're having a tough time because that's why we're vamping. No, but I agree. It seems a lot of people have gotten to experience this competition wearing different hats and from different vantage points, and I think that's so cool. It's always a different stimulus you walk away with, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's great that we're able to bring this experience to people all over the world. I mean, I think over the last couple of years, the live stream has seen tens of thousands of people from dozens of countries tune into this competition.
Unbelievable.
And that really, gives merit to the quality of this competition.
Definitely.
And the number of people who are interested in Houston Grand Opera and the art that we do. It's great.
That's great. Well, it's great to talk to you.
Yeah, you
I'm
too.
glad you're enjoying, and see you a little later.
Yeah.
I have a tap dance prepared. Oh, we have another. We have another. Jeff.
Hey.
How's it going?
How's it going?
It's nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. It's a very exciting evening. We heard a lot of great singing,
I know.
and we're all so excited to hear what happens next.
You know what's funny? I was just thinking, I heard some pieces tonight that I've never, ever heard before.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it's all standard rep is wonderful. We hear a lot of these. What would you call them? Soprano anthems, but I was so
Yeah,
surprised
exactly.
to hear a few pieces tonight that I hadn't heard. The List, for
yeah,
example,
oh my gosh,
and
so
it was
beautiful.
stunning.
I think I'd heard that set done at my master's program.
You did.
By a tenor, but I was so happy to kind of recognize bits and pieces of it. But it's such a beautiful song.
Well, it's been really wonderful getting to hear your artistry. I'm going to embarrass him. Jeff jumped in wonderfully for several rehearsals and the Sitzprobe to sing Zurga in our production of Pearl Fishers, and Watch Out World. Really beautiful,
oh, well,
beautiful
thank you very much.
work.
It was a very nerve-wracking experience, but we
no
had a
one
lot
would
of
have been able
fun.
to
No,
tell.
it was great.
You
We had
didn't
such a
break
good
sweat.
time.
We
Yeah.
did have a great time. I'm really looking forward to singing with
Absolutely.
you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, what's it been like transitioning from school into the studio?
Well, it's been really interesting. The studio allows us kind of, a lot of variety in our studies. They let us do a lot of language study, which I think is extremely important as a young artist. So we take Italian, German, French, Russian, any language you can think of.
Sure.
And we take hours of one-on-one individual language instruction, which is so important, for us singers. And then on top of that, of course, we have all the coachings, and we have, all the voice lessons with Dr. King, which is such a privilege. Again.
Oh my goodness, yes.
But yeah, and then obviously, as we said before, we have the opportunity to cover in the main stage shows and actually perform a little bit on the main stage, which is great too.
Well, great. I'm glad you're having such a good time.
Yeah, well, thank you so much.
Enjoy
It's
the
been
rest
so
of your
nice.
evening.
I definitely
it's nice
will.
to see you.
So nice to see you.
The judges are having a difficult time.
The judges are obviously having a very difficult time, which comes as no surprise to me. It's been such an incredible evening. We have another guest. Come on down. How's it going, girl?
How are you?
I'm doing well. Doing my best to ad-lib here.
You are doing some work, and it's good work, so it's okay.
Thank you very much. Well, you look beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Can you tell me a little bit about your year you've had in the studio?
Sure. So this year's been a lot of really whirlwind experiences. I got to cover Leah, who you met a couple of people ago.
Yes, people ago, absolutely.
As Frau Mari in Flying Dutchman, so that was super fun.
Oh, that music.
Yeah. Oh. And Melody Moore, amazing.
Melody
Our
Moore.
Dutchman, amazing. The whole show was fantastic. And after that, right now, currently, I am covering Paula in Florencia en el Amazonas.
Such gorgeous music.
It's beautiful.
It is.
I've gotten a lot of chances to come watch you sing your stuff.
You're so kind. That's very nice.
Oh, no, it's been great. This season so far has been really wonderful. We've done the Rienzi concerts.
What a great place to have a recital.
Yeah.
There's such a different connection to the audience when you're so in an intimate space like that.
Absolutely. I think the best way to give music sometimes is in those intimate settings.
Absolutely.
And when you're sitting in front of 120 people or something like that, and you can share your love of music and joy, it's really beautiful.
And being able to also tap into song repertoire is something that I think we connect with a lot maybe in undergrad, and then maybe lose along the way.
Well, I think that's something that people don't think that we do.
Yeah.
Because now we're opera singers, so obviously we must only sing opera, but there's so much more music out there.
Yeah.
And it's really beautiful.
Great. Well, it's so nice to talk to you.
I don't know who's talking to me. Thanks.
Enjoy your evening. Hey.
No, technically no phones backstage, but I'm casting my vote.
Casting your vote. Are you casting your votes? Do it.
Hold on.
Do it. It's now your
Who did I wanna
last
vote
chance to
for?
vote for the online viewer choice. Voting will close once the second half of the program begins. Who did you pick?
I can't say. Secret.
Secrets. Well,
okay.
I'll get it out of you. I'll get it out of you.
Submitted, so.
You know what I think is really cool is when I was in the studio, we had obviously the language coachings, we had the Rienzi recitals, but one thing I'm seeing that's new, which means that the studio is keeping current and adapting to the business and what the needs are, is you all have now movement.
Yeah, we
movement
do.
classes and if I'm correct, also acting classes.
Yeah, both. Actually, movement has been a fairly new addition.
Okay.
And first, at the beginning of the year, not a lot of people knew about it, except for me, because I'm the veteran in the studio, my third and last year. So I was like, sign me up every
You're like,
single
I
week.
want salsa lessons.
Yeah,
Come on.
absolutely. It's like, it's dance, it's also work on your body and just checking in with your form.
Absolutely.
And so like 2 months in, I can't get in anymore because everyone wants to get these sessions.
I understand. Well, I mean, I think that says a lot about the studio and the people in charge. Is not saying, well, this is the model we've had for all these years and sticking to it. It's how can we continue to add add more layers to this program to prepare our artists to the best possible ability. So,
yeah.
Well, we'll miss you after your long tenure here, but
I hope
we know
to be
you'll
back,
be back. We know you will be. You look beautiful. Enjoy.
Thanks, you too.
Who's in next season? Tommy Glass.
Tommy Glass. If you've seen Florencia, he looks really different now, doesn't he?
Got some gray going on there.
You're singing beautifully as Alvaro.
Thank you.
I always get so nervous when I see you careening back in with the dancers.
It's pretty fun. That's the first time I've been lifted off and on stage since high school.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the new season was just announced, and congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Will this be your role debut as Papageno?
It will be. And this production is so cool. I had the good fortune of being in the chorus the first time it was done in Minnesota at Minnesota Opera in 2014, and it is the most fun production of flute I have ever seen anything. It's going to be really, really cool. I think Houston is going to love it.
I can't wait to see it. That's amazing to hear.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Have you been having a good night tonight?
It has been a good night so far. I'm going to do some Papageno here in a little bit. Do
Ooh,
some
season preview.
Yeah, a little preview action, and then it's on to what everyone's waiting for, you know? The Don Giovanni Sextet.
The Don Giovanni Sextet. Well, I can't wait to hear you guys sing.
Thank you. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah. It's nice to talk to you.
Nice to talk to you, Andrea. Take it easy.
Take it easy. I have heard that the judges may or may not be on their way to me. So I remember so many moments backstage here. It's taking me back to 2012. The excitement, the nerves, the connection to the art form, the highs, the lows. In between the two arias that I sang, I went upstairs to the Gockley rehearsal room, and I had to lie on the floor to calm myself down. It was such a mix of excitement and fear, and it... Look at this guy. Hi.
Hello, everybody.
Hi,
How
guys.
are you? Thank you, Andrea, for doing this.
Absolutely. So
I am so sick of being beaten up by Larry Brownlee. He's an animal. The man is an animal.
You're telling me I have to sing duets with him?
I know. Yeah.
Woo.
That's tough stuff.
So you all had an incredibly difficult decision, didn't you?
Yeah, we did indeed. We did indeed.
As evidenced by the vamping I just had to do.
We heard your
That's all right.
complete vamp, though.
Oh, you know.
What did you sing while we were judging?
Exactly. Did you sing Layla's aria?
I actually sang Nadir's aria, but you know.
You like the time it took us because the sun got a dammering.
Lord. They brought up the fish tank.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
You were amazing in that.
All right. The big moment is here. The big moment is here. It's so exciting. Everyone's at places, and we're set to begin the second half of the program. I will see you at the end when we get to talk to our winners.
The studio was founded in 1977, and this season marks the program's 42nd year. We take great pride in seeing our current studio artists and our alumni develop into the stars of the opera world and recognize the incredible journey they take in pursuit of their art. Please join me in recognizing the work of our alumni and welcoming those who are here with us tonight.
Good evening. My name is Michael Heaston, and I am so proud to have joined the HGO staff this season as the music director of the HGO studio. I have had the pleasure of working with a number of young artists training programs during my career, and have long admired the work of this program. It is inspiring for me to be a part of the team that supports these talented young performers. Tonight, we are pleased to showcase our current studio artists in 2 performances, featuring selections from 2 upcoming productions. In just a few moments, we will welcome Nardis Williams, Lindsay Kate Brown, Richard Trace Mager, Thomas Glass, and Blair Salter to the stage to perform the Act 1 Quintet from the Magic Flute, one of the operas in our recently announced 2019-2020 season. In this scene, the 3 ladies introduce Papageno and Tamino to 3 unexpected spirits who will guide them on their way. We will then be treated to an excerpt from one of our spring repertoire productions, the Sextet from Don Giovanni, featuring Nardis Williams, Dorothy Gall, Yelena Diacek, Richard Trace Mager, Danielle Noyola, and Jeffrey Hahn, accompanied by Kyle Naig.
In between the studio performances, we will be giving you a behind-the-scenes look at the work of Dr. Stephen King, the director of vocal instruction for the HGO studio. This season marks Dr. King's 16th year with HGO. He is an invaluable resource for both our current studio members and our alumni in their continued development as artists, and maintains ongoing relationships with many of these singers, working with them for years after they graduate from the studio. We hope you enjoy these studio performances and tonight's video feature.
Man kann von Strafe sagen, dass eine Sprache ist dahin. Ich kann nichts tun, als dich beklagen, weil ich so schwach zu helfen bin. Ich kann nichts tun, als dich beklagen, weil ich so schwach zu helfen bin. Weil ich so schwach zu helfen bin, weil ich so schwach zu helfen bin.
Die Königin begnadigt dich mit listig Strafe, gib doch mich.
Und plaudert Papageno wieder. Ich liege nimmer mehr, nein, nein.
Die Schluss soll deiner Wahl nun sein.
Die Schluss soll meiner Wahl
soll deiner Wahl sein. Bekämen doch die Gegner alle ein solches Schloss von Ehren und
statt Hass, Verleumdung, schwarze Galle.
Es hinge Liebe und Bruderbund,
statt Hass, Verleumdung, schwarze Galle.
Es hinge Liebe und Bruderbund. Geschenk von mir, die sendet unverfürst in dir. Die Zauberflinte wird dich schützen, im Greifen und Glück unterstützen. Wie wild kannst du allmächtig handeln, der Menschen deine Schuld verwandeln, der Traurige wird fröhlich sein.
Ist mehr als Gold und Freuden werden durch sie Menschenglück und Zufriedenheit der Welt wird Menschenglück vermehrt, Zufriedenheit vermehrt. Nun, ihr schönen Frauenzimmer, darf ich, so empfehl ich mich.
Empfehlen kannst du immer, dort steht die Fürstin dich mit dem Prinzen und will weinen, nimmst du das Aufbau zu eilen.
Nein, das mich selbst hörte ich, das het wie ein Tigertier sich ließ von alle Gnaden mich zerrassen durch den Affen, setzt auf mich den Hunden für.
Schönste Prinz, allein, dafür sollst du sein.
Dass doch ein Prinz mein Teufel wäre, mein Leben ist mir lieb, aber das schleicht bei meiner Ehre, von mir wie ein Dieb.
Hierin ist klein und es ist dein.
Was mag da drinnen sein?
Darin hörst du Glöckchentöne.
Werd ich sie auch wohl spielen können?
Und auf die Liss, ja, gewiss. Silberglöckchen, Zauberflöten sind zu eurem Schutz vonnöten. Lebet von, wir wollen gehen. Lebet wohl auf Wiedersehen. Lebet wohl auf Wiedersehen.
Doch schöne Damen, saget, wo man die Burg wohl finden kann. Wo man die Burg wohl finden kann, wo man die Burg wohl finden kann.
Und weisen und schweben euch auf eure Weise. Sie werden eure Führer sein. Fort ihrem Rate ganz allein.
Recklebchen, Jungchen und weisam schweben uns auf unserer Reise.
Sie werden eure Führer sein. Fort ihrem Rate ganz allein.
So lebet wohl, wir wollen gehen. Lebt wohl auf Wiedersehen. So lebet wohl, wir wollen gehen. Lebt wohl auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen. Oh.
Good. I'm Stephen King, head of vocal instruction at Houston Grand Opera Studio. In a voice lesson, depending on where they are in their day, we might vocalize, or if they've been singing a lot, we might jump right into music. We are working on arias, we're working on song recitals, we're working on competitions, auditions. I think when you first work with singers, you're trying to understand how they learn. So you have to pay a lot of attention to what they hear and make sure that they hear what you said. Because inflection and semantics mean so many different things to different people. And because the singing language varies so much from person to person, some people can talk only metaphorically about singing, some talk very technically about singing, and some combine those things. And so you're trying to find a language that singer understands. The music doesn't really exist without technical foundation, but we don't see that as audience members, and we probably don't want to hear that as audience members. So I think I've tried to change my teaching or adapt my teaching over time to what I see works.
So what I most enjoy about working with Dr. King is that he is so down to earth. You can bring any problem to him and he just has a 5-word answer for, raise your tongue, or think more space, or is that really more space? Because if you're raising your tongue, you know. Anyways, he has such a calming, reassuring presence.
Yes.
And it's super easy to just understand what he's talking about because he explains things not just physically, but also he can use imagery or, you know, the science behind everything.
Really, when they come to the studio, they're just beginning. And it's a long, long process to go from the studio to professional management to consistent work. And it's a different process for everyone.
And the thing I enjoy most about him is that he has the best qualities that a teacher can have, which is knowing what they're talking about, exactly knowing what they're talking about, and is able to communicate that to any kind of learner.
I think with every lesson, we're just building on top of something. I think we're just making things better, fine-tuning and just growing.
And he's just so adaptable to the specific student.
Absolutely.
Yes. Like, no singer's the same.
Yeah.
We all have different things going on in our minds, different physical tensions or what have you, and he's just able to address everybody as right where they are and at the moment that they're singing.
Absolutely. I think what I'm trying to achieve with Dr. King is that naturally I'm a very expressive human, and sometimes I let my expression get the better of me and I lose some of my technical aspects. So what we've been working on is how to use my technique to serve my expression.
At the beginning of my lesson today, we started with some straw exercises and water, and that's definitely one of Dr. King's go-tos.
The mechanics of the straw has to do with the semi-occlusion of the vocal tract, which creates enough closure of your vocal folds for the pitch, but not so much that it feels strangled or withheld and the breath is not the thing that's vibrating the pitch. So it's about finding the right balance. I call it the Goldilocks breath, not too hot, not too cold.
Have you heard the TBS thing recently?
Oh,
That's something he
today,
might have just said.
my lesson.
Yeah, TBS, think, breathe, sing.
Yeah.
Think, breathe, sing is just, it's a way to get past a technical idea because we all prepare to speak. If we're going to speak across a large space, we all prepare that. Organically, we all do that. So if I'm going to call to you across the street so that you might not get hit by a car, I would breathe before I did it, otherwise you would never hear me. And that's what we're asking singers to do. We're asking them to call across a large space, across the orchestra, into the audience. So we're learning to exhale with the music, with the text. And TBS, or Think, Breathe, Sing, or Breathe and Sing, is a way to reduce all that into a less complicated technical apparatus. It takes a lot of courage to do what these people do. I sang and I know that nerves are a real thing, and preparation, understanding how to prepare, understanding how to do all that and then be in the moment as a character and be real and be honest, getting people to that point so that they're comfortable and vulnerable can be quite the journey. Good. Better?
Yeah, I feel it working so much more.
So much more work.
Molte facil lume s'avvicina mio ben, stiamci qui ascosi finché da noi si sposta.
Ma che temi, adorato mio sposo?
Nulla, nulla, in certi riguardi io vo' veder se il lume già lontano. Ah, come da costei liberarmi, primanti anima bella.
Non lasciarmi.
Più che cerco, ben ritrovo porta sciagurata. Piano piano l'ho trovata, ecco il tempo di fuggire, ecco il tempo di fuggire, ecco il tempo di fuggire. Per dirci io vita mia e da calma il tuo dolore l'ombra ormai del genitore e n'avrà dei tuoi martir, dei tuoi
lascia la mia pena, questo peggio lo ristoro. Sola morte, oh mio tesoro, il mio pianto può finire.
Se mi trova socchenuto una porta la veggio, cheto vuol partir, cheto vuol partir. Ecco il cuore, come il cuore, allora il perfido che m'ha tradito,
Pietà, donne Elvira,
l'occhio vero, il credo, perdono, signori miei, quello io non sono, sbaglia costei, viver lasciatemi, per carità, viver lasciatemi, per carità, per carità, per carità.
Leporello, che mano è questo? Leporello, che mano è questo? Stupido resto, che mai sarà, che mai sarà, che mai sarà, che mai sarà, che mai sarà.
Mille torvidi pensieri, mi s'aggiran per la testa, mille torvidi pensieri mi s'aggiran per la testa, se mi salvo da tempesta e prodigio in verità. Che un po' di questa verità, se mi salvo in tal tempesta e prodigio in verità, e prodigio in verità, in verità, in verità, e un prodigio in verità. Le torvidi pensieri mi s'aggiran per la testa, se mi salvo in tempesta e prodigio. Torvidi pensieri mi s'aggiran per la testa, se mi salvo in tal tempesta e prodigio in verità. Che un po' se mi salvo in tal tempesta è prodigio in verità un prodigio in verità in verità in verità è un prodigio in verità corri di pensiero s'aggira per la testa si salva la testa
Please join me in welcoming our judges back to the stage. They have made their decisions, and we are ready to introduce tonight's winners. The presenting sponsor of tonight's awards is the Methodist Hospital Center for Performing Arts Medicine, official healthcare provider for Houston Grand Opera. Here to present the awards is Dr. Robert Jackson. Dr. Jackson is the chairman of Methodist Hospital Center for the Performing Arts Medicine, where he oversees specialized artist health care, integration of the arts into the hospital environment, therapy that utilizes the arts in clinical patient care, and research that seeks to harness the broadest potential of the arts in therapy, rehabilitation, and human performance. Additionally, Dr. Jackson is an amazing resource to our principal and studio artists alike as our consulting physician for all non-vocal medical needs. It is a pleasure to welcome him to the stage at this time, along with our judges, Patrick Summers, Perrin Leach, and Lawrence Brownlee. In honor of one of our most esteemed studio graduates and newly appointed artistic advisor, we are pleased to start off our presentation with the Ana Maria Martinez Encouragement Award. Please welcome Ana Maria, who will tell us more about this special award and announce tonight's winner.
Hello. As you all know, and you saw today, the wealth of talent is a great abundance of this talent that we have, and I want to congratulate the finalists for a beautiful performance and also thank them, because it gives us all a lot of warmth in our hearts to know that the future of the art form is in excellent hands, as we witnessed tonight. My award works like a scholarship, so I give the funds to HGO, and this then helps the recipient of this award use these funds to further their training, voice lessons, coachings, in whatever way they need to use these funds to further their training. So I'm identifying a voice that I think is going to be a very, very important voice, is an important voice, will have an important career in the future, and these funds are there to help this artist continue that journey. And the recipient is Junuet Laguna.
Thank you to all those participating online. The Online Viewers Award winner is Catherine DeYoung.
Thank you all for participating in the vote for our Audience Choice winner. The winner is Elena Villalon.
The third prize in the 2019 Eleanor McCollum Competition goes to Nicholas Newton.
Second prize goes to William Guanbo Su.
First prize in the 31st Eleanor McCollum Competition is a check for $10,000. The winner of the Scott F. Hoyman Memorial Prize is William Meinert. Please welcome the other finalists on stage so we may congratulate them all on their fantastic performances this evening.
Thank you all so much for being here tonight. Congratulations to all of this evening's extraordinary participants. On behalf of HGO's board and staff, I'd like to once again thank event chairs Elizabeth and Richard Husseini. Thank you. Also, thank you again to our guest judge, Larry Brownlee. Thank you so much. At this time, we invite those of you who are joining us for dinner to please make your way to the Grand Foyer where a celebratory dinner awaits you. Thank you all and good night. Thank you.
Wow, what a night. I hope you've really enjoyed the evening. What an exciting time for these singers. Woo! I am joined now by our wonderful winners. We got to pan out. Here we have Catherine and William, our wonderful winners. How are you feeling right now? What's going through your head?
I'm completely humbled. I was not expecting this at all.
Thank you so much to those at home. I mean, Michigan, thank you. I'm very excited. Thanks.
Well, you both were absolutely stunning and huge congratulations. It's such a wonderful moment for you, and I hope you enjoy the evening.
Definitely. Thank you.
Yay!
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's been another incredible year for the Concert of Aria competition. Good night.
This is a little longer too than I thought it would be. I mean, normally I wouldn't care. At the beginning of
This is a camera. Oh, I
guess for the broadcast.
That's what I did. Looking at the end of it, moving. Hello.
But that one was panicked. I don't hear it all throughout the thing.